Hello, my name is Anneli Thomasson, and on this channel, The Soul of a Knitter, I will share how I try to live a slow life in the south of Sweden, and at the same time trying to make it as a knitwear designer. Thank you for being here with me. Nobody can be perfect if he's not admitting his failures. But if he has failures, how can he be perfect? This is a saying by Dr. Lawrence G. Peter. I have been thinking lately about perfectionism and good enough, and how it affects me. I am a person who strives for perfectionism in some areas in my life, but in others I feel that good enough is good enough. For example, I strive for perfectionism when I'm writing my patterns, but I'm human. There can be errors, and of course I will correct them if there is. And in other aspects of my life, I'm settling with good enough. So how about you? Do you strive for perfectionism in your life? Do you maybe have a job that requires you to be perfect? I can, for example, think that a neurosurgeon has to strive for perfectionism every time, because you have another human being. You're responsible for another life. There are other jobs that require that, I guess, but maybe then you have to be just good enough in other aspects of your life. So do you have any thoughts about this? This is just some food for thoughts, but there is I think it is a Japanese saying. I can't remember the correct words, but it's something like this. If you're only focusing on the weeds growing in your garden, you will never see the beautiful flowers. So maybe we need to be just good enough to see the whole picture. Hi, and welcome to the Knitting Journal. This is the part of the channel where I share about what I have been knitting on lately. And if you are new here, you are so welcome. And if you are a returning viewer, welcome back. I'm very glad that you are returning to this channel. And if you like it, please subscribe and give it a thumbs up. It would mean a lot. So let's begin. What am I wearing? I am wearing my recently released, that was the word I'm looking for, released pattern, Windowpane sweater, which is the sweater that you helped me with the name for. And it is a color work yoke pattern. The main color, this is Mondine from Retrosaria Rosa Pomar. Number 500 is the color, and this contrast color is dyed in the wool from Spin Cycle Yarns. The color is Dirty Little Secret, and it is this fun color changing yarn. So it's not a lot of different yarns, it's one skein. So yeah, that is this recently released pattern. It has these, I'll show you, these straight arms where you decrease here and gets this kind of like a balloon sleeve effect, but it's not very big. And I have made this corrugated rib down here. So yeah, I will link to all of my patterns that I'm talking about below, and everything else that I'm talking about. There is a link to my Instagram, there is the link to Ravelry. So if you're interested, just click more, and then there will be more about what I have been talking about. Yes, I have 3 finished objects. The first one is I have made another Martall hat. This is a pattern of mine. It is being test knitted right now. And this one I knitted in a sport weight held together with a tencel brushed alpaca. Just to see, because I talked about it in the last episode, when I was making the larger size, 100 grams, I only had 3 grams left. So, you know, if it's some difference there, maybe that will not be enough for another who is knitting the larger size. So I thought I should try to make it in a sport weight together with a fluffy yarn and see if the fabric is still okay. And I think it is. So this is you have these fun decreases here, and you have a cable in between. So it looks like this. And this yarn is something I had in my stash. It's a yarn that I have dyed myself, and the fluffy yarn is Midnatt Sol from Camarose. I had some scraps left over. So that is my first finished object. I can try it on, but it is a little big for my head because I have quite small head, so I will use the smaller size for me, but this is how it looks like. Not the best hairdo for a hat maybe, but yeah. The second finished object is a sweater that I talked about in the last episode. I found a really old whip from 2022 that was just waiting to be finished. So I only had to knit like 1.5 sleeve and the color, and then it was ready. So I made that. It's not easy to show here. Maybe I can make a video and show it when I have it on, because it's a little oversized sweater, split hem, straight sleeves, and a turtleneck. And this is knitted up in Fino from Manos del Uruguay and a silk mohair from Yarbo. The colorway of the Fino is antique lace and I think almond in the silk mohair. Yeah, so now I can start use this one. No pattern. This is just something that I started knitting on, as I said, in 2022, and so it's no pattern. I'm sorry. I did have some notes. If you're interested, maybe I can do a pattern, but you know, it's just I think there are so many of these sweaters out there, so I don't think that mine will be any different from that. The last finished object is a pair of socks. I have shown you before I had finished one and now I have knitted the other one. So this is a old pattern of mine. It is named LD Basic Socks. And it is a simple sock pattern where you have rib, 2x2 rib on the upper side of the foot and on the leg. And this one is knitted from the toe up. So, and the yarn that I have been using for this one is called Mellanraggi from Järbo. And I have shown you the yarn before when I was knitting the other one. So it's a classic sock yarn here in Sweden. Forest, something with forest was the colorway, but I have forgotten now, I'm sorry. I can write down here the name of the colorway because I can't remember now. So yeah, that was my finished objects. I have also 3 works in progress or whips. The first one is my Korax Sweater. I'm sorry about the clicking needles. So this one I am really proud of. This is an all over colorwork sweater. I have made one sleeve like this, and I'm just have a small section left on the other sleeve. So and I wanted to show you because you see this, it looks very bubbly and you know, very wonky. But I have I did a blocking between. So you can see this is so smooth and fine, and you know, so if you're doing color work and it looks like this, don't worry. After blocking, it will be just as smooth and nice. And so you see the difference between unblocked and blocked. So don't worry if your color work looks like this. So yeah, you can see I am soon finished, and I have talked about the yarns in the other previous episodes. It's knitted in Svensk ull from Järbo, and the colorways you can see in previous episodes. I will write the pattern down later today, I think, and maybe soon I will have a test call. So if you are interested in test knitting this, please follow me on Instagram, because there is the place where I do my test calls. So follow me on Instagram. There is a link below if you are interested in test knitting this or future patterns. Yes. Was there anything more I want to say about that? No, I don't think so. Next whip is my blanket that I showed you in the last episode. This I will just show you. It looks the same, but I have knitted a little more. It's 2x2 rib. I call it Resirkulert Blanket because the yarn is a recycled yarn from Rauma. And I did put this little marker here. So this is what I have been knitting on since the last time I showed it to you. So I think it will be very nice to have when it is finished. It's great knitting when you're watching TV. You don't have to concentrate at all. Yes, and the last one is a fun one. I did scroll through Instagram like a week ago, and I was looking at Lucky Bugger's account. If you don't know her, she is a Danish knitwear designer, and she is, you know, a rock star. She is so cool. She is so, yeah, she is just so super cool. And she is famous for her Scrapyarn projects. She has this there are no rules in your knitting attitude. So I was thinking, when I did finish my old Wip Sweater, I was thinking that I will do a Scrapyarn sweater. So I started this last night. So look at this. How fun is this? Okay. Doesn't show very well here. So what I have been doing is that I had quite a lot of a hand-dyed yarn that I have dyed myself, and this is dyed on Pane from Rauma. So this is a perfect yarn, and I have held it double in the color and through some short rows, and then I have been joining these scraps. I've changed one strand of this to scrap instead. So it will be a scrap yarn sweater with like 2 strands of sport weight, or maybe sport weight and fingering. Yeah, something like that. So I am using needle 5.5, which is a US 9. So big needles, and yeah, it's so much fun to see your scraps just being used up, and I think it will look really fun. Not very different from my colorwork sweaters, but I think it's fun. And you know, in the summer in June I will go to a rock concert. I will watch Green Day. So I think I need a more rock and roll sweater to have, because I think in June it can still be quite cold late in the evenings. So I will use this Scrapyarn sweater then, I think. Well, that was everything I have been knitting on lately. So yeah, I wish you all a lovely rest of the day. I hope you are making it count. So take care.